4 games this season, do you feel like you've had less time to get open and create space for yourself?
Nah, I'm open. I'm always open. Excuse my profanity. I'm sorry.
The Cincinnati Bengals have a problem. And if they have a problem, I have a problem. Roll the clip. One team I'm high on. I think they're going to be the number 1 seed coming into the playoffs. So I'm going to take them to win all the way to the Super Bowl as well. And that is the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, that's not aging well now, is it? So far, it's been terrible. And at first, week 1, get blown out. What was it, 24-3 to the Browns? It was bad weather. Joe Burrow was coming off that injury, right? So I was like, okay, no need to panic. They lost a couple games last year, too. We're chilling. Then they lose to the Baltimore, and I'm still like, okay, Baltimore's a good team. That's fine. But after a 27-3 blowout to the Tennessee Titans, is it time to panic? Is it time?
This is the perfect time to panic!
Yeah, I'm panicking. They are 1-3 compared to the Bills, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Ravens in the same division, all in the AFC 3-1. Compared to the Bengals 1-3. What is going on? Well, for starters, they are 32nd in total offense. And if you don't know, 32nd is the worst in the league.
Wow.
They are 31st in running the football. Joe Burrow is the 27th ranked quarterback. And they are 31st in total points scored at 49, which their special teams has chipped in. And on the flip side of the ball, they are 24th in total defense. So not as bad, but still not great, mind you. And 31st in rush. So overall, just a whole lot of bad. Looking at these stats, you would not be surprised they're 1-3. Actually, you might be surprised that they got a win. Now, their defense isn't all bad. Their pass rush has actually been decent. Their running defense and their pass coverage have been absolute dog water. The defensive side of the ball is really missing their captain from last year, their Pro Bowl safety, Jesse Bates, who moved down to Atlanta this year, and huge loss in leadership, in talent and ability, just in pass coverage in general, one of the best in the league. Of course, we know that, Pro Bowl for many reasons, and he's gone, and that's a huge hole to fill. And being 31st in run defense isn't crazy. It's actually kind of valid when you look at the schedule that they've had. They've went up against Nick Chubb and Deshaun Watson, who can run the football. They've gone up against Lamar Jackson, and we know what he can do with his legs. And they've gone up against, of course, King Henry last week, who had some nasty runs on them. So that is valid. Is 31st what we're looking for? Obviously not. Obviously not. But it's not even the weak side of their game. It's not. The stacked side, the side that we always talk about with Joe Burrow, with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins, who could be a number 1 receiver on any other team, they say, with Joe Mixon. It's been bad. 32nd in total yards. 31st in total points. 31st in running the football. And it's a +2 turnover differential. So they should be scoring the football a little bit more. Listen to this. Week 1, they lost 24-3. Week 2, they lost 27-24. Okay, good battle. Week 3, they win against the Rams 16-19. And in week 4, they only put up 3 points and getting demolished by the Titans. Your offense that is supposed to be elite, supposed to be a top tier offense, you can't expect to win games scoring 3, 24, 19, and 3. And they won with the 19. I mean, you need to be looking at least 24 points a game, not that being your top. With this kind of offense, you need to be putting that up if you want to expect to be a Super Bowl contender like I predicted you. Come on. Jamar Chase says he is always open. He is clearly frustrated by that first clip we played. And is he wrong? Well, Jamar Chase is the number 16 receiver in yards so far this season, with only 1 touchdown to account for, but he is the number 6 receiver in targets and receptions. After having a great game, it was kind of surprising to hear him say this. Clearly he's frustrated, but if we look at his games, I mean, he went 7 for 75 off of, I think, 10 targets. And week 2, having 12 receptions with 141 yards. It's really surprising to hear him say this. Of course, he's frustrated. The team is 1-3. You're an elite wide receiver. You always want the ball more when you're supposed to be a top 2-3 receiver in the league. And there's a lot of frustration going on. And that's very, very valid, right? Especially coming from him. He's played well. He didn't play very well week 1, week 2. And not all that is his fault. I mean, I don't think he's always open. Yeah, that is what's crazy. In week 2, Marlon Humphrey kind of locked him down. If you watch the games, Marlon Humphrey kind of had Jamar in clamps. He was not always open. Now, was he open more than he got targeted? Yes. But Marlon Humphrey had really good defense. So what we need to do is put a spotlight on him, making great defensive plays. So this is kind of surprising, but is that what the Bengals need to do? Joe Burrow is 27th in passing. 27th. A guy who most people, not me, most people had number 2. Ranked as the second best quarterback in the league before the season started. I had him at 3, okay? And he's 27th. He is behind guys like Josh Dobbs, like Kenny Pickett, like Daniel and Mac Jones, like Ryan Tannehill, and Desmond Ridder even. Okay, why? Why is he so bad? He only put up over 100 yards twice so far this season. That is absolutely bonkers to me. But this is probably why.
2 high safeties and basically just saying you're going to have to throw it underneath.
And that ball got out of the hands of Burrow.
Okay, Joe Burrow is 31st in pocket time allowed. Out of 2.1 seconds, that is insane. Now, sometimes he does hold ball a little bit too much, and Joe needs to pick up on that. But it's really hard when you only have 2.1 seconds on average to make a decision, throw the ball, and find a receiver like Jamar Chase, who is obviously talented, but he runs a lot of deep routes with a lot of double moves. It's not crazy to see that Jamar isn't getting the targets he wants, even though he is still 6th again in target. Now, that 2.1 seconds hasn't translated to a lot of sacks because Joe Burrow is getting the ball out quick, but he's still knocked down 2nd most in the league. That is crazy. He's been knocked down 20 times in 4 games. That offensive line's got to take some pride. They've got to defend their franchise guy, the highest paid player in the NFL. You got to protect him. You got to give him more time. Joe Burrow, credit to him, he's not taking many sacks because he's getting the ball out quick, but that is forcing decisions, leading to interceptions like these.
A little different when the statistics have been what they've been.
Chase at the bottom of your screen. Burrow to the end zone. Intercepted. Picked off by Stone. Geno Stone with blockers in front, and he goes out of bounds.
So Joe is not making the best decisions. He's holding the ball too long at times. When you are trying not to force it, when you are trying to force it, try to make plays happen, it is a very, very hard spot to be in. And Joe Burrow not being fully healthy, not having that mobility that he usually is used to, getting out, extending plays, making scrambles, we can see him take off and run. We've seen it plenty of times. And he just does not have that capability right now. That has to be frustrating, especially when you have a 31st ranked running offense. Puts a lot more pressure on the passing game. Joe Burrow, Jamar, obviously frustrated, and it's validated, but they both have to step up. Now, it's also very, very frustrating when T. Higgins is tied for the most drops in the league with guys like Kadarius Toney. Okay, T. Higgins. And this is why Jamar said what he said, right? He's frustrated. There's a lot going on. Joe Burrow doesn't have much time, so Jamar doesn't have much time on his route. He's still getting open, and Joe's trying to find him, but he, getting hit as he throws, bad at balls. He doesn't even get to Jamar in his progressions, whatever it may be. It's so frustrating. There's not much you can do as a receiver, and it's tough when you feel like you could do more for the team, and you're 1-3. That's why Jamar said what he said.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
He's frustrated at T. Higgins is getting those targets and missing those opportunities. He's frustrated that the line's not giving Joe enough time. He's frustrated that Joe is just missing throws because he has a guy in his face. He's getting frustrated because Joe is making bad decisions at times. It's all around frustrating, and I understand. And so how do we fix this? What do we do? I think this is a lot on coaching, if I'm being honest with you. Obviously, a lot to blame on the offensive line. They've got to find some rhythm. They got to take some pride in protecting Joe Burrow. Get that up to at least a 2.5, hopefully a 2.7, even 3-second protection for Joe. The biggest thing, Zach Taylor's got to make some changes. We need to target Jamar Chase way more on 3rd down. On 3rd down, the Bengals are the 25th ranked team. And that's on such an essential down, right? You have to convert. They have a 33.9, let's round it to a 34% conversion rate. That is not great. Not great. 25th. And Jamar Chase, when he is targeted on 3rd down, is 75%. 75%. That is crazy. He's 8 for 12. He makes plays. That's what Zach Taylor needs to work on. He's got to get the ball to his playmakers in open field, let them make a play. We need to get Joe Mixon in the screen pass. We need to get Jamar Chase in the screen pass. We've got Tyler Boyd's got some speed on him. underneath routes. We need drives that go a little bit longer. We also got to find a way to run the football a little bit better. That is essential. If you ever want your passing game to get better, you run the football. Take some pressure off, get some short and manageables, and we need these longer drives. These long drives with these underneath routes, picking up 3-4 yards a play is fine. We don't need the long ball. Joe Burrow does not have the time nor the pocket space to make that throw. He can't get out and create that time himself. Let's take the short plays. Let's take those 4-yard gains. Whatever we got to do, take it slow. Slow the game down. Slowing this down, having a greater time of possession makes your defense way more ready to go. It is really hard to play pass coverage, especially when you are just tired, man. When those corners are just gassed, you can't keep up. I promise you, if you get your time of possession up, taking these short drives, limiting our 3 and outs, your pass coverage is going to get better, which means your run defense is much easier as well. It just makes the game easier for everyone. And now this is the time to do it. They've got games coming up like Arizona, Seattle at home. These are must wins to ease into their bye week, week 7, and come back healthier, come back in rhythm, come back in stride, and really launch yourself to the playoffs. Because don't count these Bengals out yet. Who Day Nation? Where you at? I mean, stand up, come on. We've got a lot of football left. We are a quarter of the way through the season. Grab these 2 wins right here before their bye week. Move up to 3-3, get back to 500. That is huge, huge momentum. Find your rhythm, come back healthier, and really, really make a strong push for the playoffs. Hey, if Joe Burrow's healthy, you already know what he can do. Hey, these Bengals are going to be stronger than ever. They're going to be coming with a chip on their shoulder. They got some demeanor on them. That's scary. And when you are as talented as they are, that's dangerous.